evening. We start here with the whirlwind developments in the formation of the Trump administration. Tonight, the president-elect is facing a backlash over a newly appointed senior advisor accused of spreading hate. There was also a phone call with Putin today, and then the current president lifting the curtain on a private meeting between him and his successor. Here's ABC's David Wright.
Thank you.
In an election year when so many got it so wrong, how are we to read the tea leaves on the Trump administration now just beginning to take shape? For now, President Obama is reserving judgment.
Do I have concerns? Absolutely. Of course I've got concerns. But the federal government and our democracy is not a speedboat. It's an ocean liner.
Already, there are signs of rough seas. In one Pennsylvania school, chants of white power.
White power!
In a Michigan cafeteria, school kids taunted Latino classmates by chanting Trump slogans. 60 Minutes asked Trump about it.
They're harassing Latinos, Muslims.
I am so saddened to hear that, and I say stop it. If it helps, I will say this, and I'll say it right to the camera, stop it.
Meanwhile, the other half of America seems to be working through the 5 stages of grief. First, denial.
Several states are too close to call, so we're not going to have anything more to say tonight.
Then, anger.
No racist USA!
Followed quickly by bargaining.
Well, I just had the opportunity to have an excellent conversation with President-elect Trump.
And then, inevitably, depression.
And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of Song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah.
Witness that unusual cold open, Hillary Clinton's forlorn swan song on SNL, a tribute also to the late singer-songwriter Leonard Cohen.
I'm not giving up, and neither should you. And live from New York, it's Saturday night.
But the last step, acceptance, that's proving elusive.
He successfully mobilized a big chunk of the country to vote for him, and he's going to win. He has won. He's going to be the next president.
Today, President Obama did his best at a White House news conference.
When your team loses, everybody gets deflated, and it's hard, and it's challenging. I think it's a healthy thing for the Democratic Party to go through some reflection.
But it's a work in progress. So, it seems, is Trump's agenda. In his first big interview since the election, on 60 Minutes, Trump sought to put his detractors at ease.
When they demonstrate against you and there are signs out there, I mean, don't you say to yourself, do I have to tell them not to be afraid? They're afraid.
I would tell them don't be afraid. Absolutely.
But that's not what you're saying. I said it.
Oh, I think, no, I think I'm saying it. I've been saying it.
Okay.
Don't be afraid.
But at the same time, Trump sent conflicting signals with his first 2 appointments. As chief of staff, Trump chose a 44-year-old Republican insider, outgoing GOP chairman Reince Priebus, a conservative with close ties to Speaker Paul Ryan. But for his chief strategist, Trump picked a 62-year-old flamethrower, his campaign chair, Steve Bannon, an alt-right icon, often described as a white nationalist.
I think Stephen Bannon's appointment to be a senior advisor to Donald Trump is an absolute unmitigated disaster.
Bannon is a former investment banker who made tens of millions of dollars from royalties for Seinfeld.
No soup for you.
He went on to direct conservative documentaries like Occupy Unmasked.
In the name of social justice, in the name of economic equality, all the buzzwords, these people feel morally justified to commit crimes.
More recently, he's been the driving force behind Breitbart Media, the website infamous for headlines comparing Planned Parenthood's work to the Holocaust, op-eds calling to lock the door to Islam, calling conservative analyst Bill Kristol a renegade Jew, and supporting the use of the Confederate flag. The Southern Poverty Law Center sees Breitbart as hate speech.
A rebranding of the old white supremacist right for the digital age.
With Steve Bannon as a major instigator for this emboldened new extreme.
This man, for the last 18 months, has been pushing his Breitbart News operation into more and more aggressively racist coverage.
Installing Bannon and Priebus on the same day is a mixed message for Trump. His more moderate supporters won't see eye to eye with Bannon, while his more extreme supporters see Priebus as a creature of the swamp Trump has promised to drain.
This is a clear signal that Donald Trump has two tracks in mind. There's an inside track and an outside track. It is going to be a two-minded administration for the two sides of Donald Trump.
Some predict there'll be fireworks in the West Wing, including former Breitbart spokesperson Kurt Bardella.
I think that this is set up, and Trump has done this deliberately to pit them against one another, and in the long run, something's going to give, and one of them's not going to be there.
Today, Kellyanne Conway defended Bannon.
I work very closely with Steve Bannon. He's been the general of this campaign, and frankly, people should look at the full resume. He's got a Harvard business degree. He's a naval officer.
And today on GMA, Reince Priebus insisted Bannon is no white supremacist.
I don't know where they're coming from, and that's not the Steve Bannon that I know.
What else do we know about Trump's agenda? ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has been going over the Trump tax plan.
The more money you make, the more money you get back out of this tax plan. So, for example, if you make $25,000 per year, you get about $100 benefit from this plan, $100 in savings. And if you jump up to $143,000 a year, you'll see $2,000 approximately in savings.
But the fine print is about as clear as Trump's own tax returns, still under lock and key. Is he proposing to fix the system that obviously helped him?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. We also don't know quite where he stands on abortion, though we told Leslie Stahl he'd fulfill his vow to appoint Supreme Court justices who oppose Roe v. Wade.
But having to do with abortion, if it ever were overturned, it would go back to the states. So it would go back to the states.
Some women won't be able to get an abortion.
No, it'll go back to the states.
By state? No, some.
Yeah. Well, they'll perhaps have to go to they'll have to go to another state.
And that's okay.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Which brings us back to that all-important fifth stage of grief, acceptance. Some cultural icons have been urging it, including Dave Chappelle on SNL.
I'm wishing Donald Trump luck, and I'm going to give him a chance. And we, the historically disenfranchised, demand that he give us one too. Thank you very much.
And there's Oprah Winfrey on E.T.
Just to hear President-elect Trump say that he had respect for President Obama, it felt that he had reached a moment where he was actually humbled by that experience. To hear President Obama say that he has renewed confidence in the peaceful transition, I think everybody can take a deep breath.
But Oprah received some serious Twitter backlash for her comments. Comedian Patton Oswalt tweeting, "This is not one of my favorite things." Today, President Obama seemed to sense some of his supporters aren't buying it.
We will try to share the lessons that we've learned over these last 8 years with the incoming president, and my hope is he makes things better. And if he does, we'll all benefit from it.
With that, the now lame duck president left the briefing room. I'm David Wright for Nightline in New York.